Life doesn't get boring after college. We think it does because life gets to us. Welcome back to the Junior Mints podcast. My name is Finn Lawler. I'm your host. This podcast is all about helping you guys navigate the difficulties of life while also helping you guys see the fun side of life as well. Balance is important, and we want you guys to have a balanced life. So let's get right into it. So today I'll be talking about something that, it dates me a little bit because I've been out of school for some time. But for those of you who are still in school, for example, I want to bestow a couple things that I learned when I was in college. So let's jump right into it. Number one, being self-reliant. When you get to college, you'll get to a point where you need to start, supporting yourself, and you're going to have to start supporting yourself physically, financially, emotionally. When I was in school, I started to realize, oh crap, I got to actually be responsible for myself because no one else is going to be. For instance, I needed to eat, when mealtime came around, and I couldn't skip meals. I had to eat, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or all 3 or 5 meals a day. I was relying on myself to be like, okay, Finn, remember, you have to eat at 5 o'clock or you have to eat at noon or whatever it is. So I think that's the most important thing, as well as being self-reliant, as far as getting homework done. No one else is going to be like, get your homework done now. When you're at college, your parents aren't there with you unless they live 15 minutes away, but still they're not there with you. So you have to really develop that mindset to be like, okay, I got to get my stuff done on time, and then I'll be good. And then once you build that habit, you will probably you might be a better person for yourself and for others. So you'll be great. It takes rhythm. I found mine a certain way. My friends found theirs a certain way. Everyone has their own rhythm, but once you find your rhythm though that suits you, you'll be fine. A lot of growth, number 2, happens in those 4 years. The person I was, when I entered school, and the person who I was when I finished school, for example, was a different person. From the age of 18 to 22, if you're a traditional student, there are some non-traditional students. Shout out to my non-traditional students out there. A lot of growth happens between those ages, and this can be true for any age, but it's especially true in college, because once you get to college, those 4 years are super slow, and then once you graduate, it's like whoosh, you're 35 now. What? So really, my point is, the growth happens where you learn about who you are physically, emotionally, mentally, and just all that stuff. So cherish the growth. You may think you're the same person, but trust me, take a selfie on the first day of college, and then if you remember, take a selfie on the last day of college, and then scroll back through those pictures and be like, oh, who's this person and who's this person? So you'd be surprised. Yeah, it's when you go through school, you learn a lot about the classes you're taking, but you also learn a lot about yourself. And hey, that's beautiful. That's what college is for. Is to really get set into the man or woman that you have become. It's awesome. Next one, organization becomes your best friend. I can't stress this enough. When you're in school, you got to stay organized. And become organized and stay organized. This will save you a bunch of stress. Staying organized can look like, setting little reminders in your phone to do assignments, going to class, for example, writing down to-do lists, or marking your calendar for important events or whatever. But these are only a few ways to stay organized. Again, when it comes to organization, you got to find your rhythm. But once you and organization become best friends, college will become way less stressful. It'll become, actually, in my opinion, way more fun when you're organized. Think about it. Nobody wants to be cramming for a test that they didn't study for. So again, find your rhythm. Next one is, college does not teach us about finances. Well, yeah, there are those people who are business majors, but other than that, college doesn't really teach us how to handle our money and budget. I might be wrong about that one because it's been a couple of years since I've been out, but when I was there, they didn't really teach us about finances. And, learning how to manage your money is I think, one of the most crucial parts of being an adult. So find that class or course that maybe teaches about money, whether it's like an elective or something like that, and go find it and just go take it and see what you learn. Right? It doesn't hurt to learn. Next one is the learning does not stop after you graduate. Just because you get your degree doesn't mean you're done learning stuff. Sure, your schooling is done and your education is done, but that doesn't mean life is done schooling you. You still have a lot to learn, and that's okay. Stay curious and learn more. I learned this kind of the hard way. I'm like, yeah, I got to graduation. Yeah, we're good. And then like a couple months later, I'm like, well, crap, I don't know. Like, so just, I guess, stay curious and keep learning as you get older. And even if you're into your 60s or 70s, people are still learning at that age. So I'd say your learning really kind of takes off after you graduate. Some people might disagree with that, but think about it. The world has so much to offer. God has so much to offer, and like you have so much to learn from the world and God. So stay curious and just keep learning. Next one is crucial. Go to class. Enough said. You're at college for a reason. You're paying to be there, or maybe your parents are paying to be there. So be there. Yeah, I get partying is fun. That's awesome. But like, you're here to learn and like get your degree, whether it's a master's, bachelor's, whatever it is. So be there. Go to class. Do your best to be on time. Yeah. Next one is you may meet some lifelong friends in college. Yeah, honestly though, I've met some great people in college, and some of which are still friends of mine, and we still talk to this day. So really going to enter your first year, if you're a first year, with an open mind, and like you'd be surprised at who you might meet. You'd be surprised, and like some people aren't really, some people don't have your best interest in mind. So just kind of be aware of toxic people. But for the most part, I think the people that you'll meet in college, some of them will be your best friend or close friends. Maybe when you're until you're well into your 80s, or I don't know. But just it's different for everybody. But like you might meet your best friend in college. I actually met some of my best friends in college, and we're still talking. So yeah. And another one is next one is study something you enjoy. When it comes to picking a major, my recommendation, and this is just my personal opinion, is to study something that you find interesting. I've seen many instances where people change their majors maybe 3 times per year. That's okay. That's cool. They're still figuring stuff out. And remember, when you're picking a major, you'll be studying something for the next 4 years. So pick something, choose wisely, and my recommendation is pick something that just fuels your fire. Whether it's political science, or whether it's like business, or in my case media. I went to school for media, and I don't regret that decision. I didn't change my major once, but not to brag, I didn't change my major at all. I just went all the way through. But point is, like, pick something you like. I know it sounds weird, and it may not make you a lot of money, but life's not all about money. Anyway, that's another conversation. But anyway, point is, pick something you like. Next one is crucial. Something that I didn't follow when I was there sometimes is leave your dorm and mingle. You're only in college once in your life, unless you get a master's, and that's a different story. So, but anyway, make the most of your time while you're in school. Sure, a lot of that time will be spent studying, hopefully, but some of that time should also be spent, getting out there and mingling and meeting new people. Like I said in the earlier point, you might meet your best friends in college. Don't stay in your dorm all the time. Sir, I mean, I was in college when COVID was a thing, and I stayed in my dorm a lot. By the end of it, I'm like, why did I do that? So, get out there and go to like social events, parties, campus hosted events, or whatever it is. You'd be surprised. Again, I keep saying this, but it's true. You'd be surprised at who you're gonna meet. Think about it. And last but certainly not least, when you're in college, have fun. A fun time in your life, indeed. College is what it is. That came out weird. Anyway, it's a fun time, and it's a good time to know, and a good time to really meet and develop who you are, really. And so have the most fun you can in college. I look back some days and I'm thinking like, dang, I wish I could have done things differently, but I still had fun. Your definition of fun is probably different than mine, but anyway. But just have the have the most fun you can, and enjoy your life there. This is college. You can afford to make dumb mistakes. I know I did for sure, and just live a little, right? Because that's something we forget as we get older. Is we get we get out of college, and it's just like, well, now what? Boring life. It's like, actually, sub point here. Life doesn't get boring after college. We think it does because life gets to us. I just made that up on the spot. Wow. Okay. But seriously though, have a great time in college and just good luck. And you never know what's going to happen. So anyway, this has been the Junior Mints podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.